gosh. Alright, we're gonna get ready here in just a moment to see 80 keys. Round one, game one, sorry, round of 64. We've got Zelda and the Swedish Arctic Fox. Apparently, and I didn't realize this until I just actually checked the records, this is actually a rematch from week one. Fox was unfortunately not on the better end of that race, so I'm assuming Fox would probably be on the lookout for potentially a revenge match. Zelda, of course, looking to continue his win streak against Fox. This is going to be a best of 3 series. Both of those was default for round 64. And the mode this time is going to be 80 keys with, of course, these wonderful best item in the game. Looks like we are actually already on our way. I am super excited, of course. Right, starting boost means we get to go fast, since both runs are going to start as sync. But you know, we are probably going to be looking out for a sword of some type. So in this case, so that they don't have to necessarily, you know, stop or dash whenever. You know, the good news, of course, is that there are 4 swords out there in the pool. Surely they'll find one of them before the 2-hour mark, right? Something like that. We're apparently not poor at all because we found 20 rupees in sync, which is, you know, a paltry sum compared to 300 in this case we have just gotten. Also, I just want to thank you so much, Alex, for doing all the Restream stuff. I think you have probably like 50 different buttons and boxes to actually like manage through, so thank you. Very, very much appreciated doing all of this. Ooh, okay. Tier 1 tree collection looks super nice, and single bombs. We also got plenty of cash in order to go buy some extra resources if we wanted. So, certainly not going to be, I think, too scrapped in this case before going over to Kakariko. Okay, you know what? The good thing about Restream is that when 2 runners are doing the same thing, you get 2 shots of seeing what is potentially here. Yeah, it looks like it was a potential map here on Lumberjack. Don't know, of course, what it's going to be, but probably not going to be too big of a concern. We are going to force this. This is 80 keys. We are going to have to defeat everything, you know, Aghanim 1, GT, all of the dungeons. For what it's worth, in this particular setting, because it's actually not from the entrance branch, we technically do require the map and the compass to be before the actual like dungeon itself in order to be, you know, logically defeated. So maybe that means something. Maybe we'll actually never get that map. Who knows? But just maybe something to keep in the way recesses of. We did in this case get flippers from Lost Woods. Always pretty cool. Especially this being so it is Freedom Day for what it's worth in the US. It is ridiculously hot here. In Freedom units, it's like 90. In non-Freedom units, it's like maybe like 30 something. And so, you know what? I don't think anybody would complain, honestly, about going for a nice cool dip in the water. My gosh, dude! Look at the talent, you know, for Fox and Zelda. They've already found a sword under the 2.5 minute mark here in Blindside. This game is super comfy now. Yeah, so we've got bombs, you know, we've got a sword, we've got a ton of cash. I mean, I don't necessarily know if it's gonna be like this type of, you know, like a regular, open, standard, you know, whatever seat, but I mean, going through Kakariko is certainly very common, but man, like, it's looking actually like we're not gonna really have pretty much any type of resources. Alright, so, and then thankfully, of course, thank you so much to our trackers, Otto and oh my gosh, dude, we found a blue too? Holy cow. Alright, well, we have basically all of the travel stuff, just basically ready to go at a pretty so convenient. Oh my gosh, dude, and the big key desert. So certainly, Desert Palace Big Key is one of my favorite big keys. I would really like to go and see either of our runners go to desert. Now, all we need in this case is a book, a lamp, a bow, and, you know, maybe another desert small key for, you know, for good measure. You know, logically speaking, we do need it. But, you know, these guys probably don't necessarily care too much in terms of following logic, you know, to its entirety. Yeah, but in this case, we have a fluid activation, we've got boots, we've got a sword, we're ready to go dancers. We're just gonna finish up the rest of Kakariko. And then, let's see, in this case, I'm gonna imagine both in this case, we're probably gonna go to South Shore. There's still, well, we do have actually, oh, there's a big key Meyer as well, also very much hard required big key. Some of these big keys, by the way, Meyer, Desert, Eastern, Pod, these are gonna be big keys that can be very elusive, so it's actually really nice to be able to have these big keys kind of like on the earlier side. You don't necessarily have to, you know, go hunting for them. Zelga just a slightly faster out of Kakariko in comparison to Fox. So, nothing on the library. Can you get anything from race game? My guess is no, but this is 80 keys, so but Zelga is already believing that there is nothing. So there is a map for what it's worth, not going to be worth the extra, I don't know, 15 or whatever seconds it's going to be in order to take out Mace Race. I'm sure, you know, these guys will be able to figure out what's a pendant, what's a dungeon, what's a crystal later on. Who needs maps? Who needs map checks? Just go beat the dungeon. It's the best way. I think someone actually told me during Thanksgiving, like, the best way to tell if something's a turkey is just to eat it and see how tired you feel later. So, you know, it's kind of like a dungeon for that matter. Alright, looks like that we are actually gonna get a map race trash. No, we're not even gonna go pick up the map. Never mind, on Fox's side. Not even gonna be worth the extra 3 seconds or whatever to actually go get it. You know what? Okay, you know what? It's 3 seconds in like a text box, so I understand. Alright, mini Moldorm Cave. So we've got actually a good set of bombs on Zelda's side. The really nice thing is that we have a permanent weapon. Looks like the price pack actually for mini Moldorm is actually pretty nice. Drops hard, so really nice safety. Something good to keep in the forefront of our minds at some later point. But looks like kind of empty. Oh, I didn't even I missed this. We apparently have a hammer in the dam. So yeah, good idea to get the dam, you know, first. Don't skip it. Try to combine it with swamp. Probably not the best idea in the world for this particular scene. Alright, Zelda though, yeah, just a little bit ahead, of course, getting into the South Shore, Ice Rock Cave. Using the flute, of course, that's gonna be a little bit faster than just thing again about having boots, despite the fact that we do have, of course, logical access to Hobo. Why swim when we can run? We're gonna swim on the way back. Oh, okay. that is a very important hook shot under the bridge from Hobo. Yeah, so I think with that actually completes our trinity of movement items as well. I mean, in addition, you know, Hookshot actually gives us a lot of logical access to many things. Actually, looks like with that Hookshot, Zelda is just gonna say forget Waterfall Fairy. We're gonna go for that. Damn it, Hobo. You know what? That had how much damage did you win? I don't know what that sequence was, Alex, but that was genius for crossing this. So. Looks like those. Fox is gonna, you know, Fox is actually gonna go check Hobo. He's also, you know, kind of short in terms of cash for Zora, so very understandable, and he's gonna be very highly rewarded in this particular case for getting that shot. Yeah, of course, rescuing the old man, certainly not in logic quite yet without the lamp, but again, who needs logic? We are getting a big key to Skull Woods. Okay, alright. One of those kind of keys that you're pretty happy to see again before, you know, you go to the dungeon. You don't really want to, you know, okay, we want to limit the number of times we go to Skull Woods as much as humanly possible. And so for this particular case, you know, this is gonna be one fewer trip. Interesting. All right, so with the hobo, after the hook shot at hobo, looks like Fox is actually gonna go check out Desert Ledge. Nothing probably to recommend about. We're gonna go check out Agina. Not gonna be a common location, especially in this case. Hookshot opens up kind of what we're seeing on Zelda's side, right? So much. We got the mountain with the flutes. Maybe this is something that Fox is maybe looking to hopefully buy him an extra edge. He's gonna get some extra knowledge about Pod when we get there. Knowledge is power. That is what everybody says. How much power is TBD? Speaking of Pod, we have a small key. Actually, did Zelda even go there? No, Zelda has not been to his house yet. This is, you know what, a consequence of finding the flute so early and starting to sing. Good. He'll probably go to Link's house when we get Darkwood access and go to, you know, Pipe Cave and whatever. But until then, okay, so apparently all of our Zora cache is just here up in Paradox. Ooh, speaking of those, more pseudo-high density item locations. Fox is gonna visit Saha. It is 300 day in Swamp Palace. So we have one Meyer small key, basically kind of that's most of the fruits of, in this case, Saha. Of course, we do have a logically required compass for Meyer. It's going to help us also count along in the dungeon. We may or may not see left side Meyer. Excuse me, that is 3 key locked. I guess we're gonna have to see in this case. But meanwhile, though, Zelda did pick up the Big Key Hera in Paradox as well. So no mirror, of course, but you know we're here. This is going to be a dungeon that we know we're going to have to complete, and no fire source, no small keys. You can't, you know, shucks, dang, too bad. You know, out of luck. We can't do Hera basement. You know what? We can just write that check off. Just like, you know, many people even do that even before coming into the dungeon. They just basically, you know, if we had a compass to Hera, it would, you know, in their minds, it would say, you know, 0 out of 5 coming in instead of 0 out of 6. Oh, okay. That's a very important big shaft there. That is the Big Key to Turtle Rock, so 100% required as well. Yeah, I can't imagine in this case, you know, people kind of doing Herapod, but yes, this is definitely one of the situations if you can't find the Big Key, Herapod definitely could potentially significantly hurt you in your route or your quest in order to, you know, find some later, you know, late game Big Keys. Have a Moldorm party on Zelda's side. But nonetheless, you know, this is actually a pretty significant proc. Oh my gosh! So just follow the breadcrumbs, you know. I guess suddenly we have a glove, our Darkhold access, our first crystal. That is a significant amount of stuff that's just opened up. And you know, Zelda, I don't even think he's finished all of his overworld checks in like world, you know, for like Sphere or whatever, 0, 1, 2, whatever you want to count it as. We have already Darkhold access. We can go to Valcast, we can go to Pipe Cave. Zelda's maybe gonna finally get his small key to Pod from his house. I guess we'll see. You know, he might set a record for the latest Link's house opening. I would imagine he's going there sometime soon. Yeah, looks like Fox is actually just gonna follow suit. Gonna go through Paradox. He's probably gonna go get his Big Key to Hera, his plethora of cash, because this is just an ATM, I guess, at this point for people. I am hoping that we're gonna have a fun race on our hands. This is, of course, keep in mind, this is gonna be best of 3. So you know, while this race certainly does not have, I guess, immediate, you know, bracket elimination consequences. Wait, I saw that. But you know, it certainly could set the tone in this case for the rest of the series. This is actually very good for Fox. He's gonna go over here. I mean, he's also like following the logical chain for Dark World access. You know what the scene is kind of giving him. He's gonna pick up this big Ra. He's gonna go get his glove off of Moldorm. He's also gonna get his crystal, probably, you know, right around like the 15-16 minute mark as well. So, Zelda getting 1.0, not a common bush guard to see, but I guess it can happen nonetheless. We're also getting some actually really good big keys as well. Like, I mean, I think you're pretty happy to see almost every big key, you know, kind of early. But you know, like Swamp, Skull, these are really big keys you really don't want to go back for, especially Swamp. So, of course, this goes for me that they can have nothing, but you know, we can get a peace of mind here. So Zelda's here in Hyrule Castle. Kind of an interesting, I think, decision as to come here. This also might be strategic in terms of, you know, if something is here, this is a Sphere 1 location. He probably doesn't want to leave things behind, you know, but, you know, kind of like after this phase, we're going to see Fox get his glove and Dark World access, you know, the entirety basically of both worlds are open, right? So, but, you know, I think probably as we have seen time and time again, the longer you kind of put off, in this case existing Sphere 1 locations, the harder it is to go back to, just because so much more stuff is opened up. So Zelda probably maybe wants to hedge some bets here and not make sure that he left anything really important. So far, nothing really that exciting. We have found one of 2 green rupees on Zelda's side. In the boomerang chest. We are gonna look for its mate, you know, because, you know, why would you only find one and not the other? Now, of course, keep in mind that this stuff is technically not in Logic again. And Logic is a suggestion for these guys because we haven't found the Hyrule Castle Smoke. A lot of money, and so technically all this is kind of locked behind that. But again, minor detail in the grand scheme of things. Speaking of a not minor detail, I think this is actually something that Zelda has skipped on Fox's side for Spiral Cave. It is going to be, you know, at this point, while it is not progression, it is not something I think that people will complain about. Looking at our general health going into Dark World, we are on Green Mail, and that heart container was a 4th one, so I don't think it's probably more welcome than anything else. Speaking of, again, as Macno was kind of pointing out, it is efficient as opposed to logic in this particular, you know, following logic, because we're here, we're just going to get as much value as we possibly can out of Hyrule Castle. Looks like though the entirety, maybe outside of that Swamp Big Key that we got off of Uncle, doesn't actually look too interesting. But, you know, again, Zelda, you know, he's got those map locations kind of marked off. Alright, and with, of course, all of the cash, in this case, that people have gotten, both Zelda and Fox. Actually, it looks like we actually got some really nice sinking here, going into and finishing up the rest of the water chests. Also kind of interesting, you know, because Fox also had, you know, once he's gotten his, getting Dark World access. We need a pearl in order to go there. That's pretty important. It's a very kind of important Dark World. Okay, now, okay, in this case we have access. I could read the tracker, I promise. Alright, I do appreciate it. Alright, I have temporarily disabled one source of cooling, but we'll see. Well, wait, I hope that should be fine. Alright, okay, we have, in this case, purchased yet a 5th heart container from Zora. We actually have now our real Darkhold access, which is our pro. So finally now we can actually do real stuff. Alright, Zelda, with the, and probably also importantly, we also have our mitts. That's also kind of important. So suddenly, we actually have the almost basically full gamut of Darkhold stuff. I mean, like, we would really like to have a mirror. It would make things dark and light world very efficient. But in terms of access points, though, we have pretty much everything that we could ask for. Also, thank you, Tracker. It is Ether from Meyer. We have 0 medallions to our name, but I'm sure we will go find that at some point. Nothing interesting here in Meyer's shed. But we are gonna, every single compass, by the way, is a great item because that means we're gonna be able to count along in every single dungeon that we find. But you know, I'm a big fan of math. Alright, but so, okay, so like I said, after, you know, we have basically every single point, so the good news is that we have lots of freedom, very apt, of course, for, you know, Freedom Day, despite the, well, at least for Zelda, you know, I think, not quite in the United States for this one, but, you know, kind of the same point. As he gets, you know, absolutely mobbed by the moblins. In this case, we are still looking for maybe a little bit of extra health. You know, Zelda can't afford to play like he has red mail when he only, I guess, has a white katana? Something? Outfit? That is actually a very nice ice rod. And the fact that it's not necessarily, you know, it's, I mean, a Stumpy Well is maybe not necessarily, I think, the most often commonly checked location, is also not, you know, completely obscure. Okay, we also did pick up a cape, certainly also very convenient that we're, and, you know, at least Zelda's particular routing in this particular case is kind of working out for him, just because we are going to be able to go from south to north type of situation. Having the cape is going to basically be, you know, very convenient to go check Bumper Ledge, Graveyard Ledge. While these are not, you know, the greatest checks to make, he can at least be efficient. Yeah. Oh, nice. Nice lamp. Thanks, the kid. Speaking of a good reminder for Sick Kid, we also did dig up another green bottle. So with the half magic, with that green bottle, it should actually be, you know, I mean, we unfortunately still don't have a really any type of magical item that is offensive in any way. You know, like, oh no, never mind, we have an ice rod. I mean, but you know what, it doesn't work half the time, so you know, we're really probably gonna look at that fire rod instead. Alright, looks like the fox is kind of is clearing up some of the stragglers in this case, and we did see him again, you know, do his, you know, very quick Sick Kid check. We actually did also see both Fox and Zelda go do Meyer shed as well. Of course, you know, no mirror when we did have it at the time, so we didn't really able to do much else. But in this case, you know, we've actually got some pretty good scouting knowledge, at least on Fox's side. You know, having already been up Dark Death Mountain, we know that in this case, well, we may need bombos still for Ice Palace, you know, Rule of Fire type of situation. But at least we don't necessarily need it for a dungeon entry. Alright, Fox is gonna pick up his half magic and Small, right, that's right, we did get a small key to Thieves Town. Yeah, always again, really nice to be able to see that small key before we go into the dungeon. Never want to isolate that big chest if you don't have to. Surely nobody's ever lost or won a race because they just abandoned the Thieves Town big chest. Magno, that's terrible. I'm sorry. I mean, both for the check number 2213 and also for check 213. Let's hope in this case that both Zelga and Fox are not gonna have to go through all 200 and, I don't know, 13, 14 checks. Okay, so I guess as far as I know, this is still 100% inventory in that, you know, no shenanigans have been done, or offsets have been tried to, in this case, not have self-locking keys. So, I mean, we will see, we may or may not see any number of pod keys, I guess, in pod, for example. Or we may not ever, right? Because they're self-locking. So Zelda is, this is gonna be new content for us as well. Gonna go through chess game. We're slowly making our way into a 7th heart. I mean, Zelda in this case did pick up blue mail from the smith, which is very welcome, especially. Please don't get hit by the ghost. Especially in this case, we've already got the mirror, so no more kind of scary thoughts about, you know, trying to, you know, death warp. We've also got, I guess, a million safety, so forget about health. We'll just drink our way. Also, like, you know, just like freedom, we have the ability to drink, I guess, whatever you want, so long as you're of age. But in this case, it looks like, you know, Sick Kid may not be the only entity, I guess, in Hyrule that may or may not be suffering from a hangover the next day. It's still Freedom Day here, you know, for another 6.5 hours. Alright, looks like that. Okay, so we're gonna finish up the Smith chain here on Fox's side. I think, right, outside of the armor, you know, Purple Chest just had 3 bombs, so probably nothing really, you know, really interesting. But, you know, kind of really good to be able to see both runners actually being, you know, still pretty thorough, complete. Haven't really, in this case, isolated much. Just kind of try and get their item density checks, you know, kind of out of the way to make sure in this case that they don't have to leave any stragglers behind. Major difference, I think, in this particular case is Zelda has not done Dark Death Mountain. Fox has already, you know, kind of made his way up there to Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny and all that jazz. So this is why Fox is just a little bit behind Zelda in terms of just trying to, you know, basically make his checks through the village route paths. Yeah, but so he's gonna turn the purple chest, and presumably we may also see something very similar on his side to go through the rest of Village Outcast, Front 4 of Thieves, Graveyard Ledge, Zelda. Oh wow, okay, that might be exclusive content. I'm not sure the last time I've seen Zelda willingly pick up a red mail. Yeah, ooh, oh, okay, alright, well, you know, speaking of Eastern Palace, we have one of 2 items that Zelda is looking for to make Eastern Palace dippable, which is, in this case, a bow that is just, you know, happens to be, you know, perched on Bunker Ledge. But looks like, actually, Fox? So we have no Fire Rod, but, you know, as maybe a follower, believer of Dunka and Value Woods here, surely we will find something. Otherwise, though, my guess is maybe Fox, with, you know, the cave and the mirror and all that stuff that he found in South Dark World, maybe he'll just, you know, kind of walk out of Skull Woods in this particular case, and then also do the North Dark World checks. Alright, so we did find, in this case, as unfortunately no Canis Mario, we are gonna have to do this room the old-fashioned way with, well, Boomerang. not, I mean, the old-fashioned way. In NMG especially, does not involve any type of boomerangs whatsoever. We're gonna get rewarded with a Meyer Small. I think it's gonna be the first one for Zelda. The first one, of course, always going to be the most desired because it does make Meyer routing, you know, a bit more efficient. This was, of course, the second one, and we just need one more for some logical left side access. Big key to Skull Woods in the front of Escape. Not super exciting because it just led to 20 rupees, but you know, the fact is that we don't have to come back for it. Alright, I am here. Okay. Alright, you know what? We're never gonna complain with more potkeys. That is probably the best amount of value we've gotten so far, though, in Skullwoods. Check your expectations accordingly. Oh, okay. Well, speaking of, though, we also all of a sudden have 3 Meyer Smokies. So, I guess whenever we end up getting a medallion, which is what, Ether in this case, that actually would, you know, that area now seems a bit suspicious. So our fox has also spotted his bow up on Bumper Ledge, so he's gonna go get that. I am also not quite sure what his Eastern Palace tendencies are. I can certainly make an educated guess is that his opinions are probably not as polarizing or as strong as Olga's in. So we might end up seeing something there, but also though with the mirror, maybe we can try and put off and do like a combination of pod and Eastern together, right? Maybe we can get another pod key. We already have the big key to pod as well, so maybe we can try and put off, you know, and again, you know, try and find the Eastern Palace big key as well. Okay, thank you, Alex. That is also very good information. So no, sounds like there's not going to be any variance in terms of what we're going to do with Eastern Palace. Alright, but of course, okay, it looks like we have Desert Palace Big Key, we have entry into Desert thanks to the Mitts plus Mirror plus Flutes. No small key yet, so I think not necessarily logical in order to go beat Landmo, but we do of course have that lamp we got from Sick Kid. Unfortunately, we have the Ice Rod and Half Magic, so I think that's gonna be the fight that we're gonna see today, sadly on both sides. If only they didn't visit Swampy. Otherwise, this would have been an amazing back. I actually don't even know if Fox runs NMG at any level, if he's even like dabbled in it whatsoever. I know that Zelga, I think I believe does at most once a year run. That might be out of like courtesy or meme. I'm not really sure which one. We have also joked at the fact that if he ever has to do Bow Lamos and Brando, that pretty much counts as his, you know, once a year energy run. Alright, so this should be kind of like the tail end of this case of the Fox's route. He's already done all of North Dark World, he's done all Skull Woods, he's done South Dark Worlds. So he looks like he's going to be finishing up, in this case, Village of Outcasts. So where can we actually go after all this? So we're kind of already seeing, as you know, Zelda here in Desert. That is going to be another, you know, clearable dungeon with the Ice Rod. Alright, it was actually a very nice fight. Ice Rod timing certainly can be a bit wonky at times. Oh well, guess where we're going on Zelda's side. Right after this, he got the big key to Thieves Town off of Landmo. We already picked up the small key from Hype Cave, so we have of course Mitts, and yeah, the back of Desert looks really appealing. Kind of wish I was paying attention to see what was actually in the front of Thieves Town. I don't actually remember if there's anything good, but I mean, this is a very normal thing, you know, in order to be able to do, especially when you have the mirror. You're here in the Village of Outcasts, you have no idea when you're going to be able to find that Thieves Town big key. Oh, we have a small key trigger up. Okay, it's certainly not a bad thing to have, but You know, I mean, if you knew ahead of time that you were gonna be able to go get these on big keys, certainly you probably would not have gone in. But nobody knows that, obviously. So. Alright, yeah, so with, of course, everything kind of in Dark World, the overworld pretty much cleared out. Very natural thing for Fox to come over here to Desert. We have access, we have the mirror, we are going straight to the back of. We're gonna go to checkerboard first, excuse me. Oh man, skipping things. Just completely, huh? Ooh, interesting. Also, the Fox is gonna pick up a bottle with a bee in it. This is gonna be the third bottle that we have. I will never complain in this case about an extra companion. You never know in this case when a bee is going to help you, especially let's say in the back of Skull Woods. I've seen many a cloud named Days, unleash a bee to kind of help him get over the finish line on half a heart. Oh wow, we have another. Oh right, we did kind of already see Zelda get that as well. But yeah, 3 pot keys plus a small key. We can certainly go beat the dungeon. We may or may not be leaving Vanilla Big Key Chest or Harmless Hellway behind, but it is suddenly the pod coverage with that is looking pretty healthy. But again, we haven't run out of stuff to do yet. Fox is going through desert. He's going to go and get his Desert Palace, his Thieves Town Big Key off of Flammo soon, just like we saw on Zelda's side, and he's gonna go basically straight back over, presumably to Thieves Town. So maybe in this case, in the course of our adventures, we're gonna be able to find another pod key. We're gonna go find Eastern Palace Big Key. That would probably be, the most ideal. Maybe at some point we'll also go find another sword. I'm sure, that would be kind of nice to have, but it's just minor details in the grand scheme of things with these guys. Or we'll just go straight back over to Meyer. That's also, a very viable option. Wow. Although, I guess we don't have the Cane of Samaria, so maybe Meyer isn't as, appealing. Yeah, but, and you know what, based on, I think what you've maybe experienced, Alex, we already have the hammer, so, why even bother going to Meyer, at this point? Yeah, so what do actually we still need? Certainly for 80 keys, there are what, like 12 ice rods out there. We have certainly found a lot of them. Certainly don't want to take credit away from these guys' due diligence. For example, you're gonna have Pod Big Key, Turok Big Key, Desert Big Key, all these things. We are still, of course, missing. Speaking of more Big Key, oh my gosh. Easy game for Zelda and a soon-to-be Fox here. So with 4 pod keys, Pod Big Key, Bow Hammer, Eastern Palace Big Key. Oh wow, that place is looking pretty dang happy. Yes, as I was saying though, and now we've got a pretty, item dense location set area. We got Eastern Pod. Maybe we'll go find one of our, remaining couple of ice rods left. We have currently 0 of 2 Castle Tower small keys that we need. We are gonna need that fire rod as well. Try next, and of course, Skull Woods is, this is all being all dungeons. We have to certainly go. Oh, we have one. Oh. Again, I clearly do not know how to read the tracker. Thank you. Thank you, Alex. Okay, so we need another one of 2 Castle Tower small keys. We also have bombos. Wow. I mean, man, so it just seems like so much stuff is here. Is just basically on the path. I mean, bombos also gets us into Ice Palace, and maybe the most appealing thing that you want to do right now. We have no Cane of Samaria for Icebreaker. We have, again, no Fire Rod to kind of make things a little bit nicer, for like Cold Stare, to kind of speed things up in the dungeon a little bit. Okay, we are also gonna go finish up Dark Death Mountain on Zelda's side as well. I mean, as Fox is kind of going through and finishing up Thieves Town. yeah, so he's gonna get basically his plethora of goodies as well. He's gonna get his Eastern Palace big key out of the big chest. He's gonna get bombos off of Blind himself. I do appreciate the efficiency here on Fox's side. He does not need to know in this case where the how the dungeon looks like or where the boss is. No need to do a map check in harmless hallway. Sorry, this hallway is anything but harmless in this hallway. But luckily in this case we have a cape in half magic kind of see things through. Oh, yeah, that's also a really good point. Yeah, it's right. Kind of like the majority of things that in this case Zelga has, kind of look like, he was just a little bit ahead of Fox in terms of, items checks. He always seemed to be, whatever, some amount of steps ahead, right? But yeah, but keep in mind in this case that Zelga had not done Dark Death Mountain yet. He hasn't come up here, so we're gonna basically finally get a bit of parity in this particular case. Ah, good point, Spinnick. We do have one extra B. Zelga is just going to be having a slightly lonelier time in his course and try to beat the seed. So, really, like, who's coming out ahead, I think this is probably a blind check then, a floating island on Zelga's side. I don't know. I thought we had seen something on Fox's side when he kind of scouted it, and I don't remember it was anything exciting. Oh, it was pretty exciting. Never mind. It's a quick medallion. So we are gonna have to go get that at some point, but it is the only necessary in this case used for Trigger Rock. And of course, it's just literally right there, so Fox does not have to worry in this case whatsoever about it. Ooh, okay, so we are going to still look at Spike Cave. Actually, speaking of Spike Cave, sorry, not Spike Cave, but does Zelga ever do Spiral Cave? I thought that was actually one thing he did end up skipping earlier. Because that was something that's, that Fox had definitely done, because he got an extra heart container out of it. Okay. Oh my gosh, dude. Wait, according to Zelga's tracker, and I'm staring at it, is that all 6 potkeys? Oh wow, okay. thanks to thoroughness, we are gonna be able to actually complete pod in logic. I have heard that some people believe that you are not allowed to go into pod without being able to completely full clear the dungeon. Zelga, while I don't believe he was the originator of that strat, he is certainly a follower of this particular seed, intentionally or not. might be more serendipitous. Now, this begs the question though. So we certainly did see a pod key that was in Spike Cave. I'm trying to actually remember where the other pod key that Zelga has that Fox doesn't. Yeah, right. So like the disparity is, I mean, in terms of keys, like I think he's gonna have to leave one item behind. Versus Zelga, of course, Amy comes in with, oh, is it 5 keys or 6 keys? I can't tell. His counter says 5. But I mean, but I guess like regardless, we are going to be able to completely the full player pod on Zelga's side versus may or may not be the case here for Fox. Okay, alright. I'm just blind. Don't mind me. We have 5 keys still. Thank you. Yes. Alright. Okay. Alright. So then in this case there is no disparity in terms of where the extra one whatever key is that Fox is missing, because we just saw Zelda get it in Spike Cave. nice single arrow that both of them can't carry. It's a real nice message, Pod. Thank you. Nice mimics there on Zelda's side. Also pretty nice mimics here on Fox's side as well. Looks like he's also going to pick up a little bit of extra ammunition. Just in case. We are going to be a little bit short on arrows after Armos. I mean, not like super short, right? But, you know, obviously Armos is going to take the vast majority of your arrows, so maybe just going to keep trying to keep things healthy, you know, before we get there. Oh, actually, it looks like Zelda and Fox. Very similar in terms of routing decisions. We are going to go, since we're here on the Bullock side, we are going to go just directly back to Helma. And we're still here in Randomizer. We have not adopted fast walls or anything, so you know, take a breather, you know, for our runner. 17 seconds of pure cutscene. I don't know other words for this. And alright, yeah, so using looks like a pretty nice backup strat for in the cases of where we, you know, do not have sword beams. Okay, looks like Fox is gonna use a hook shot. Zelda decided to kind of quick sum over to the ice rod. Either way, it's good. We just don't have anything to kind of hit that switch from afar. And unfortunately, again, we're still, you know what, we found the first sword, which is really like the one sword that kind of matters, you know, for the majority of the game, in Lion's Hut at like the 2.5 minute mark, which is, you know, remarkable, right? I'm really gonna hope in this case it's not gonna be, you know, like Gomo tempered at like, you know, 140 whatever, or for that matter, Gomo Master Sword. It would be kind of nice, but. The point is, at least they have a sword. It would just kind of be nice if we can get it upgraded. Yeah, I'm not sure in this case if Zelda ended up getting spin speed off of Helma at some point, but it's all fine. We have red mail. Also on Fox's side, I think both runners are very consciously aware of the fact that they have red mail, because at this point, it doesn't actually matter how hard Helma tries. Helma has a very, very significant uphill battle ahead of him in order to take down a Fox or Ryu. Oh wow, we have so many Turtlerockis already. Okay, so 3 is a tepid number of small keys for Turtle Rock. We ideally would still like to have 4, but you are able to clear out the dungeon with 3 keys. The question, of course, also is, you know, are you willing to kind of leave the vanilla big key just behind? I mean, more often than not, the answer is going to be yes. It's just going to be in those cases. It's if you are, you know, you're only not burned until you are type of situation. So, but I still haven't run out of stuff to do yet, so it's maybe not going to be a problem worth worrying about. Until we have to, in which case we can panic dance. Oh, look at that! Look at the nice backup pod. We've got a fire rod as well. Oh, the seed, I think, for what it's worth, has been super comfortable so far. You know, we got a lot of really nice things. You know, kind of in the early game. Obviously, we just start with boost. We got early sword. We got early hammer. We got mitts pretty dang quickly. You know, with our pearl. We did, a lot of like the overworld stuff that, we got us access to, but then, kind of as we were just going through dungeons, right? More often than not, I'm actually trying to think if there's a place where we had to basically double dip, and so far it looks, but outside of like Thieves Town, and maybe like Skull Woods, which is, arguable if you want to actually just treat that as generic overworld. The path so far has been very, very smooth in terms of comfort and routing. Nice compass in Pod Dark Maze. Oh, very, very interesting, actually. So Fox is gonna be able to get his compass here relatively shortly, and then I would just imagine he's gonna just mirror straight over to Eastern Palace. But like what Zelda's doing, we can actually see apparently we have picked up a map somewhere to Eastern, or we have talked to somebody. But we do see a nice crisp capital P in the upper left-hand corner for Zelda and for Fox. So this is gonna be one of our pendants. We don't have a book so far. Sorry, just thinking a little ahead. With the fire rod that they picked up in Pod, they'll probably want to go do Skullwoods at some point. We can't actually check the pedestal. We probably don't have enough stuff to go blind pull it immediately. So, well, I guess it, you know, maybe we'll find out what's on Ped, you know, in the credits. All right, thank you, Alex. We have in this case a nice list of still Go Mode items. Alright, so we have Castle Tower, Small Key, GT Big Key. Right, good reminder, GT Big Key. That is also something very important. Very, very easy to forget. In this case, we actually do have at least a Master Sword that, in this case, Fox I just picked up. While Fox nor Zelda, nice boots, by the way. Oh my gosh. I mean, they're clearly not like the logical boots here in this case, but yeah, I mean, it's still kind of funny to see them. You know, fun. 15 minutes in. Yeah, and I was obviously thinking that it would be very nice to have, certainly not required for either Fox or Zelda to have, is silvers or tempered sword for that matter. Will certainly speed things up a bit. We also have not fought Vitreous yet. I mean, you know, they have Cape, Half Magic, Master Sword, you know, a million potions. So I don't really foresee, you know, them having, I think, any real issues in terms of survivability. But you know, again, we are here in a race. You know, they would probably want a bit more speed. In this case, probably 2 million. You know, so Silver Arrows would help. Tempered Sword would certainly help a lot. Also, it would be kind of a nice to have as just how sequencing would go if we could get, let's say, you know, I mean, kind of like looking at Alex's like list for Go Mode items, right? So it would be really great. Best case scenario is to not have the Castle Tower Small Key Go Mode because you're still searching the entirety of the world for it. It would be actually pretty cool if we can get, let's say, like Swamp Palace Small Key for Go Mode. That would certainly lock you out of a bunch of stuff. Samaria Go Mode would actually be really nice as well. It can lock you out of Turtle Rock. I mean, you may still have to go with Myers, not maybe like the best decision. But in this case, yeah, if you get Swamp Small Go Mode, then, you know, it basically like doesn't have to have you make any difficult decisions, right? And especially you can, in addition, you can basically also make the do I need to do left side swamp decision, you know, already for you. You guys are super kind, but I mean, honestly, like, yeah, so speaking of, Zelda and Fox are the ones doing all of the hard work, putting on, you know, this race for us, and Alex is also, I mean, like, I think Alex is doing, like, everything he possibly can in order to get his tech setup, you know, done pretty amazingly well. Like, there is so many things that go into Restream, so thank you so much, Alex. We have picked up our pendant, yes, and this is, by the way, still, again, good reminder, 80 keys, do not save and quit after you pick up the prize. We do very much need that pendant, otherwise Ganon will yell at you and not let you defeat him because you haven't met your goal yet. Alright, so very much expected. We have the fire rod. Doesn't actually look like so. Okay, we did technically get boots, quote unquote, you know, in Eastern Palace, and of course we got a pretty valuable sword out of it, but nothing nice in terms of, you know, kind of like major items. You know, that they're kind of a major item or keys in this case that they're kind of looking for. So without kind of much else that opens up another dungeon for them, Skullwoods is certainly a very natural location for them to go. So after this, though, so we have 2 more items that are available for us in the back. We have the bridge chest, we have Mothula. Where are we going after this location? What haven't we also seen here in this seed? The first thing that came to mind was catfish. I understand, again, that may or may not exist for some people. You know, sometimes, you know, people play this game as if it was 215 out of 215, you know, in terms of locations. Yeah, so this is also a pretty good point as well. Yeah, thanks Josh and Alex. Right, so Ice Palace is completely on the table. Right, also another good point is that we actually do have Desert right side as well. We did pick up a Desert Palace small key. Yeah, I think they were probably maybe trying to put off Ice Palace, you know, in hopes for Kena Samaria. But you know, sometimes you just gotta take the plunge, you know? Oh, nice Tempered Sword on Mothula. Wow. Granted, it would have been kind of nice to have Tempered before Mothula, but you know, no complaints here. We're gonna have Tempered for, all of the really, really great bosses. We're gonna have Tempered for Argus. We're gonna Tempered for Coldstare, Vitreous, and Trinex. Like, these are like, I mean, you know, you can't have Trinex on Mothula, like, okay. You know, you still have the Hammer, which is Tempered at home type of situation, but man, in order to be able to have Tempered in order to do like the quick kills it's pure luxury. Sadly, it's luxurious and not the norm, but you know, you can't always get what you want. Alright, so that was also, you know, Moth is taken down for Fox. Slightly different order, just in terms of getting the bridge chest first, which is also good. But yes, no book for either side, so we are going to not be able to check the pedestal. Surely nothing can be on the pedestal anyway, you know, it's just not one of those things that matter. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. I was actually wondering where Zelda would go. Looks like Fox is also kind of thinking where he wants to go as well. Maybe we have something very similar. We are going to do Pyramid Fairy. We have the 5-6 crystals. Oh no, we already knew them. Right, Desert and Hera, that's right. Okay. Alright, at least we knew them on looks like Fox's side, because either he did a map check or he talked to the bomb shop dude. Oh, Zelda is trying to get some damage boost taken so he can dash with a big bomb. Something that is very viable to do when you have Red Mail, because, you know, basically everything only does like half a heart of damage. But looks like he had a little bit of trouble basically getting the Ropa to cooperate. Same actually with Fox as well, so okay, Fox is just gonna block it. Alex bringing up an actual good point. Right, there is a reason why probably pendants and crystals also still kind of do matter. Yeah, it's, you know, typically, I guess, like, one of the things that we think about is, oh, okay, let's just say, you know, this case of Eastern is a pendant, right? In which case it is. There is the possibility of it being, and the Eastern Palace big key in GT, right? And that would have been, well, pretty unfortunate, I think, for both Fox and Zelda. In this case, it wasn't, but yes, one of the things that you can actually still have in GT is, because Swamp is a pendant, we can have Swamp Small in there as well. Good to see that we were supposed to come here to the first chest of Castle Tower before we go beat thieves down. Oh, Fox! Oh, dang it. I thought he was gonna go through my favorite rock, and he didn't. We're just gonna do the front of escape at this point. I guess it look. Oh my gosh, dude! You know, maybe Fox hasn't done the front of escape yet. Okay, you know what? I don't think he's done the front of escape like at all. Like, he just got the higher castle, so he'll probably go get like all the front of escape, and then, you know, do Castle Tower. But holy frick, what a terrible Castle Tower walking. Oh, that is. Thank goodness we were here. One of the absolute worst locations, I think, for that key to be in. So good news for Zelga and soon. Well, assuming Fox does cast a tower, it'll be very convenient for them. I mean, sometimes ideally you'd like to be able to have do Aga Tower right before GT, before Ganon, so you can get that like kind of free heart refill after GT. But you know we're literally here, right? So it's just gonna be, you know, forget the convenience. We've got safeties. Just play well, and you'll be fine. And of course, the best part about doing Castle Tower now is that we are here with the hookshot. I very much look forward to seeing Zelga and Fox's Hall of Fame snapshot to get hook speed. Okay, we're just gonna look on Fox's side to see what he has is going to find here in the front of Hyrule Castle with that Castle Tower, or the Hyrule Castle small key rather, excuse me, from Pyramid. It's okay. There's plenty of room still on the fridge. You know, it doesn't have to always be, you know, in the portrait Hall of Fame like in a display case or anything. Very minor optimization on Fox's side for what it's worth. He doesn't have to pick up the small key, you know, literally just slashes the guard in order to get out of the room. You know, we've already got the Hyrule Castle small key from Pyramid, or Pyramid Fairy rather. Alright, okay, and then hopefully he is just going to go to do Castle Tower. It is actually probably the most convenient time for him to do so, because he is here, you know, in the front of Escape. Alright, this looks very good in this particular case because he is actually running back and probably just going outside. Yeah, so so while it is not going to be the biggest time loss, you know, for Fox if he literally just like leaves and then comes back and does Castle Tower, because you know you can just kind of incur the extra overhead of coming back. It is the additional I'm still looking for a Castle Tower small key, where the heck is it, you know, type of traversal. That's going to be the thing that really hurts people. And suddenly, after the entirety of the tower climb, Zelga is pretty much right back where he started. Alright, so, and yeah, as Fox is gonna get the great surprise of this being an 80 key seed, you know, maybe we should have labeled it as like, you know, fake keys, like, you know, from the main tournament, you know, like when only one of the Castle Tower small keys is vanilla, as opposed to like, you know, both of them being vanilla. Maybe that would have given them like a more of a hint, you know, for the seed. Yeah, fake fat keys. That's right. new mode. You know, pitching. You know, for the main tournament or for the league. You know, please don't put my name on it. But yeah, it's an idea. So Zelga is just kind of finishing up his traversal. Yep, he has exhausted, I mean, not quite all of his options before kind of diving into Ice Palace, but he has certainly exhausted a good amount of it. No Canis Amaria means that we're just gonna have to resign ourselves. And of course, for what it's worth, the Canis Amaria, let's say just be here in the Compass Chest, you know, first one of Ice Palace, in which case, we're gonna be happy. Yeah, I think it's gonna be this, Caneless Mire, and then of course I think Nubis also mentioned you know, Right Side Desert as well, so that's also another 2 items. Yeah, exactly. Everyone just needs to go to progression. That's it. Alright, it is sadly not not Canis Amaria. It is, you know, there is a compass in the compass chest of Ice Palace, just not the vanilla one. Fox. It's okay. You know, this will be, you know, the good news is that this game 1 out of 3, both Zelda and Fox have plenty of opportunity to practice their Hall of Fame shot for games, you know, 2 and 3 for the series. Alright, but yeah, we're to, you know, so If only, you know, Zelga had done Bo Lamos, it would have been more believable that this is going to be his NMG run in Brando. We are actually going to get to see the lesser seen conveyor belt room in Ice Palace with the Ice Palace bomb jump. as Fox is just kind of going through the motions. You know, this is not, you know, 0 blue balls, 0 warps, kind of vanilla preset-esque type of situation. This is just a regular rando seed. Generate random number of blue balls. Of course, it is seeded, so Zelga, of course, you know, also face the same number. But we just have to, you know, kind of like press the play button in this particular case. You know, talk about fast balls. That was actually something that people suggested. We need like fast blue balls or something. You know, that might also, you know, help speed things up. We have finally made our way over to right side Ice Palace without the Canis Maria. We have been rewarded with mucho cash, which is at this point somewhat not very relevant. Maybe if Zelga feels like upgrading his potions. We're also kind of seeing the consequence of not having Canis Maria. So I'm actually not sure in terms of how convenient it is or how much faster, slower it is to go to Iced Tea without the cane. I'm being told it's basically like a transcontinental flight's worth of time regardless. Oh my god. Oh, I don't know if that bong was intentional, but well, it's okay. This is a great lesson on Zelga's side. Don't skip Iced Tea regardless of how far away it is. It could just have your Canis Amari in there for you. Oh, looks like though. Okay, so we're getting a little bit of divergence here. My Fox is actually going to. Looks like he's gonna try and get maybe a bit more options on his side. So looks like we're gonna go into Mire in this particular case, and maybe right side desert to maybe search for the cane. I think it's also very reasonable for what it's worth. But in this case, as we kind of saw on Zelda's side, we are not. You know, he's not gonna be able to find the cane inside Mire. Now, of course, you know, a good out though for Fox is that looks like we actually still do not have the Ice Palace Big Key, which this is going to be something that Zelda is going to be leaving behind. So if Fox finds Ice Palace Big Chest, right, like it actually could potentially still be a good item. You know, we're still missing in this case, right? Small. We're missing GT Big Key. I mean, these could be, you know, literally anywhere. Okay, well, we are gonna have to go to right side desert. That is very much required for that GT Big Key. What else do we need for go mode at this point? Sorry, just trying to take some inventory here. Just Swamp Small, is that right? Well then, suddenly things are, I mean, what a nice dream to be able to have small key go mode. Swamp go mode is exceedingly fast, super nice. Now, assuming this case of course Zelda, well, he's gonna have the cane, so he's gonna be able to find, you know, he's gonna basically full clear out Mire. He's gonna, I'm assuming he's gonna do desert right side. So probably, if Swamp Small is in Ice Palace Big Chest, that would be extremely less optimal for Zelda. That is, by the way, also we just find, finally Fox actually a little bit ahead of Zelda actually exploring the entirety of Mire here. We are going to find our fourth Turtle Rock Small as well. Oh my gosh, that's actually a really good point. I did forget about the fact that Swamp Small could also be vanilla. That is something that neither Fox nor Zelda has checked. Yeah, I think Flippers and Mirror actually were pretty dang early too, so it was definitely, you know, an option for them, like being on there on the table. Oh right, we were also basically coming into Mire, for both Zelda and Fox, with 3 small keys. So this side is definitely 100% logic. We have Gold Sword. So I think at this point, you know, we probably don't need silvers. Again, you're never gonna complain, you know, about having some nice shovel. But especially, oh well, okay. So Fox is going to be able to have gold sword for Vitrias, which is going to make his fight, you know, probably twice as easy. You know, Zelga is only quote unquote going to be there on Tepper sword, but you know, red mail, he should be fine. We also have easy mode, which is in this case having the lamp. So Zelda doesn't even need to kind of like close his eyes in order to go faster, because he doesn't need to Dark Mire. Aw, so disappointing. Alright, so I mean it was Gold Sword and Skull Small on right side Mire. Which, you know, is still very much, you know, logical, in terms of we do need still 3 Skull Smalls in order to go beat, you know, Mothiel and Logic. So it's very understandable. It's just, you know, again, not something in this case that Fox probably wants to see. Oh yeah, we have Cape and Half Magic as well, so it's pretty NMG-esque type of situation. In this case, instead of taking the damage boost from the slime, we are just not going to take any damage at all with the Cape. So we also have learned that I think we may or may not have known this. Oh, I think Fox maybe knew that Mire was a pendant. It's not marked on his tracker, but he did do a map check, and I did see that he knew that Turtle Rock was a crystal. Alright, it looks like Zelga's actually gonna come back in. Probably was hoping, in this case, very understandable, 1 Swamp Small Go mode. You know, if it's on the path, don't have to necessarily, you know, come back in for basically anything. You know, right side Mire, sorry, left side Mire still does take quite a bit of time. So it looks like he's just gonna at least not leave anything here behind. Meanwhile, though, we did get a shovel from Spike Chest in Mire. What is this gonna dig up for? Just 20 rupees. Good reminder on Zelga's side is that we do need, in this case, need a small key. Alright, meanwhile though, so Fox, without the Cane of Samaria that Zelga had found here in Ice Tea, in Ice Palace, he cannot finish the box, but here we are. So at least for his troubles, he did get a he did get GT Big Key out of Desert Right Side in his traversal in the Mire Desert area. I guess we will be quote-unquote rewarded with the Cane of Samaria here, and then we'll just have to unfortunately go back to Mire. Yeah, I'm actually trying to think about what the... I'm actually not sure what the... again, this also might be like a more very, very common trend, is that I have absolutely no idea what the key logic is for Ice Palace. So I actually don't know how many small keys, whatever thing, you know, is locking. I do know that we found the Cane of Samaria here in Ice Tea. I don't... do you only need 1 small key to get there? Maybe 2? I have no idea. I mean, well, but kind of like what we've seen in the seed so far is that there has been, like, if you're gonna play the seed, like, logically, right, like, you know, and follow it, you know, to its purity or whatnot, you're gonna be at least double dipping, if not triple dipping, some of these dungeons. Also, in addition to, because, like, you need, like, the map and compass, right, before you can actually go through the boss. Alright, this is very good for Zelga. He is gonna go pick up his GT Big Key. On Desert, so he might be, you know, thanking himself like, oh, good thing I came here before going off. I So does Zelda actually have anything else left here that's not on the mountain? If only there was some sort of map tracker. Oh, shovel, right. We saw this on Fox's side. Oh yeah, I unfortunately was not paying attention to see what Cold Stare dropped. But good thing is that again, this is a race, so we're gonna see everything basically twice. Fox is here, on his way to Cold Stare, pseudo shortly / momentarily after he gets his Kingdom Samurai out of Ice Tea. So we're gonna be able to see. But yeah, but I think as far as Zelda goes, so he does have all 4 keys. Presumably, we're gonna go see a full clear of Turtle Rock. Probably nothing gonna be like super out of the way for him. Maybe like the main question is gonna be some version of like going outside and like Mimic Cave and such. That might be probably like the most amount of like extra time invested, but I mean, kind of in the grand scheme of things for 80 keys, maybe not gonna be that big of a deal. And at this point, I think we're just kind of hoping that the Swamp Small is going to be somewhere like in GT, somewhere in Turtle Rock, even if it's slightly, out of the way, maybe like, Last Just Laser Bridge or something. What we would really, not like to see, right, is like, for example, you pick up a book, or maybe, Ice Palace Big Chest, or Big Key. Those are the things that would really not make anyone very excited for the scene. I mean, the vast majority of this, I think, has gone like very smoothly. The only kind of like real location that kind of like, either runner or both runners have kind of left behind in this case has been Ice Palace Big Shots. They were able to basically take out everything in Pod. They were able to take out everything in I guess in Skull Woods as well, like in one shot. I mean, and of course we know it's Swamp Small Go mode, so don't have to worry about anything in Swamp Palace. Nice chops, thanks. We do have red mail, and we have 11 hearts, so I think we should be fine. Oh my gosh, our first shield, amazing. Didn't even notice this. Alright, yeah, of course, Gold Sword, having Gold Sword for Cold Stare, super comfy fight. We don't need to do 6 slash, we could just do the old 3 slash. Alright, so we have picked up Kingdom Samurai, at least, for Fox, so presumably straight after this, we're gonna go right back over to Meyer and go beat Vitreous. Yeah, and then it should be mountain time for Put it back, Salga. We don't want to see that right now. We're just gonna copium our way to GT. I guess the good news is that he at least checked Ether Tablet, I guess, like on the way, but man, that's just not something you want to see. Not a great pokey pattern either, but we've got Gold Sword, who cares? We're just gonna slash our way through. Meyer 2 also was not very cooperating with Fox though, unfortunately. The good news for Swamp Small is that it cannot be on pedestal. That's at least one silver green lining out of all this. We don't have to go back to Lost Woods, Skull Woods ever again. Close! what a terrible pod key, logically speaking. Wow. Yeah, I'm not sure if there was a single dungeon we could have logically single dipped at this point. Thanks, AD keys. Very much appreciated. This is why, so you don't have like a bot playing. Oh, nice silver arrows, by the way, crystal rollers. So Restless Seed is pretty comfy in terms of execution. But yeah, like this is why, you know, we have humans playing and, you know, being able to not just willingly, you know, blindly kind of using your keys for no good reason. But now, every single small key is going to be basically just bait, you know, at this point. Is this going to be, you know, a swamp small key? Speaking of, so okay, what other small keys are there? There are 4 other ones, or 5 other ones inside Swamp Palace. But what are the other ones in the wild that can still kind of trip us up? And most notably, I think we have not seen the Hera. Oh, disgusting. Hera small key is still out there. We have just found the Ice Palace big key on Laser Bridge for Zelga. At least we have a refill for Trinex. Not that he probably needs it at this point. You know, again, we have red mail. We have, it looks like 3 bottles. All, I'm sure, with potions in them. Zelga did not pick up the 4th one in Checkerboard Cave that had a B. Alright, but this is gonna be Fox's venture up into Turtle Rock, or at least starting to. So, okay, this I think I didn't... Yep, see this is why the Ice Rod, you know, only works about half the time. Luckily we have Gold Square to compensate. Right, so as I was postulating, so at this point, Zelga has finished all 7 crystals. Fox is going to be soon be. He's basically at this point kind of like 1 Turtle Rock clear, kind of behind Zelga. But I mean, again, we are still pretty outstanding, and we don't know where that Swamp Small Key is. We have gotten to the point where now we're able to enter GT. I do not personally know how much of the basement you're supposed to clear, versus before making the decision to go up and climb. We have not done Roller Room. I had totally not even paid attention to that. On Zelga's side, that was actually very good thinking. I should have paid more attention to the compass because it certainly did say 10 out of 12. It makes a lot of sense though because Roller Room is pretty completely out of the way if you don't have to go there. Right, yes, and GT Smalls are certainly going to be more bait. Hera Small is going to be another bait for him. I think there's another Ice Palace Small Key out there somewhere, maybe? Yeah, and of course, in addition to the basement, there is of course the 1 in 22 locations where it seems to be a bit more, you know, controversial or polarizing in terms of if you decide to do tile room before you go up and climb. Coming back here is pretty dang inefficient. I mean, there could probably be another, you know, like minute plus, basically, if you want to come back, so... But then again, tile room is like another minute, right, that you have to kind of invest, so... Well, it depends, I guess, maybe on how you're feeling things. But looks like Zelga is gonna go check out Ether Tablet before we go in. He found this lovely book in the vanilla Bicky chest of Turtle Rock, which I'm certainly going to assume that Fox is also going to go find. Is this it? It is so not. Nice bait. Alright, so we are coming in here with how many GTPs? Looks like 2? Okay. There is also, by the way, nothing stopping from, you know, GT keys basically being, you know, like pseudo vanilla or, you know, just here, like, you know, 1 in Stalfos room suddenly now opens up, like, the entirety, you know, just like right here, right? It's another GT small key in Hope room that, you know, you just expected to be here. Yes. Also, yes. Probably worth, just kind of expanding on that. Anubis is yes, that is actually one location. The first chest in Swamp Palace, which very much could have Swamp Small in there, has not been checked by both Fox and Zelda. It looks like we're gonna do a compass room first. We've got a lot of nice powder. That also could potentially, yes, still lead to Swamp Small. That is another logical check for us, which is Magic Bats. Funnily enough, we have also not seen the mushroom yet. So I don't actually think that either runner would fake powder. I don't know. Maybe Fox would. I didn't actually think that was within Zelga's appetite. So at least it wasn't kind of like on the table. Suddenly, mini GT Swampies. Yeah, the seed started out in terms of like health-wise pretty stingy. You know, and they're going into Dark World with a 4th heart that they had just like randomly scrounged up somewhere, and now suddenly you basically can't even tell that this was, you know, such meager beginnings, right? 15 hearts on Zelda's side, red mail on both sides, gold sword, silvers. I mean, Fox is gonna get his silvers very shortly here, and then of course, you know, Zelda ended up finding like 4 heart containers basically here in GT. All we're here missing really is that mirror shield. Although kind of given the size of the sprites that Zelda and Fox are using, like I really kind of feel like we're just gonna see like a shield as a sprite, as opposed to like the actual thing is just gonna cover up basically 95% of it. Actually, is there a mirror shield sprite available? There are 491 total sprites out there. And you know, there are some things that have just been completely like you would never think you would ever see. Alright, we have found the Swamp Small in addition to the Mirror Shield and Rando Room. Forget the first chest in Swamp Palace, forget making terrible decisions about Tile Room. We are in at 126 basically. We're in go mode on Zelda's side, and soon to be actually on Fox's side as well. He just has to kind of get through, in this case, the entirety of, or the rest of Turtle Rock, and then assuming he doesn't climb like immediately, he should also fight a Swamp Small. Yeah, this is actually a really good point, Alex. I think like the vast majority of the seed, you know, I think Zelda and Fox were actually pretty close. You know, just kind of like all things considered, maybe just some things here and there that led to maybe like a very like minor deficiency, right? But yeah, it's I think the bulk of the time difference is really the decision after whatever that last dungeon was, Skull was maybe, was that Fox decided to try his luck to go find King in Mire Desert. And then Zelda just basically straight up tries Palace. Yeah, because I think pretty much though, like, so many things for the majority of the seed, you know, after you kind of do the initial kind of like overworld passes and whatnot, basically right on the way, honestly, it's just kind of like the major decision point was, where do you find this King of Samaria? Super smooth execution here on the side. Hard to argue with Gold Sword and Silvers and Half Magic and Samaria and Naya Lamp and whatever else. The good news, of course, is if he didn't get frame ruled on the bridge, that's doesn't matter what kind of equipment you have, that place can always screw you. Meanwhile, though, Fox is on his way to Trinix here. So he actually ended up doing Roller Room first, as we can note from the 11 out of 12, as opposed to like the 9 out of 12 that Zelda came in here with. But yeah, you know, Fox manages to make the Ice Rod work for him, not against him. And then, of course, Goldstar ends up finishing up the rest. Simultaneous boss explosions on Fox and Zelda's side. And of course, keep in mind that both runners have still, they've already done Castle Tower, so this is actually just, you know, they need to finish up GT, and then they need to do basically go mode, Swamp Palace, and then actually, you know, for the last dungeon completion, probably honestly not the worst one, just because you finish up Swamp and then you just run up to Ganon, right? Almost kind of similar to basically doing like, you know, Swamp into Pyramid Fairy type of thing. And the benefit of being able to defeat Aga Tower right before this is that you have a nice little shortcut in order to get there, so you don't have to go take the Hammer Peg Bridge. Oh dear. It's okay. Aga still has a couple more tricks up his sleeve. Everything is fine. You can also save and quit again. That's also a very good point. I forgot about the save and quit part. Too much Villa preset. Only thinking about overworld travel. Alright, looks like the Fox is also gonna follow through. A very similar, you know, mentality in this case for what in this case as Zelda had done earlier. We got the book from Vanilla Bicky Chess in Tourney Rock and something that you've never seen on all. Very frustrating. Being able to, I didn't actually think that you were going to mirror bonk there for what it's worth. But yeah, this is going to be another set of mirror transitions back and forth before we go back into G2. Yeah, save and quit. Definitely one of the major glitches in this game. Alright, so Fox is gonna look like he's gonna start his traversal here in GT. Looks like we're actually gonna do a left side first, so if he actually just goes and rushes Rando Room, it's gonna actually save a little bit of time over Zelda, because I think Zelda went to Hope Room first, into Compass Chess, yeah, into the rest of the left side. This race has been quite fun. Thank you so much again, Alex, for the restream. None of this would have happened without basically you pushing 50 buttons basically, and making sure things don't explode. Oh, Fox! Oh no. This is really kind of unfortunate in terms of just that spike, man. You know, every single seed, I also wonder, like, who is Ganon's MVP, you know? And today, I think for Fox, is that spike. Yeah, but this is actually going to be pretty good for Fox. Again, you know, so we did find both the Swamp Small key and the Mirror Shield in Rando Room. Kind of maybe depending on what his sequence is, he may not get the upper right chest. I'm not sure in this case what, like, you know, if he takes like a U versus an N type of pattern. Meanwhile, though, yeah, Zelda is just kind of like blazing through. We, unfortunately, for some reason, did not find a compass to Swamp Palace, so we are clearly not abiding by any amount of logic here. For what it's worth, it could still be one of, you know, the umpteen checks that Zelda has been skipping in Swamp Palace. Alright, looks like we're gonna go take the end. The last one is a Swamp Small. He has, so at 133, a Fox is now in Domo. So he's got the rest of the climb. He's got Gomo Swamp Palace, and then, just like Zelda, we're gonna see shortly, he is going to have a save and quit to go back to the castle and pyramid. Gold Sword clearly too powerful for Argus. This is the downside. Is that Gold Sword, you know, like really the sweet spot is just tempered. If we can just put Gold Sword away for just Argus, right, it would have been a lot better. But yeah, I think all things considered though, this seed was it's relatively fast, I think, for an ADT seed. Most of the things were just kind of on the way. We did have to end up, I guess, clearing a good portion of GT basement, but other than that, probably nothing really else out of like too out of the way. We like both Fox and Zelda were able to be very efficient. Basically, like the only real location I think that they kind of both left behind because I guess they kind of had to at that point was the Ice Palace big chest. Everything else they were just kind of able to basically get in one shot, no real holes. Going into Turtle Rock with 4 keys, going into Pod with I think 5 keys on Zelda's side, and I think 4 keys on Fox's side. Skull big key, you know, going into like having that before Skullwoods. Yeah, I mean we basically just had everything. Yeah, we're already on Ganon. Gold Sword certainly makes things very fast, and we just have 2 more arrows for Silver Ganon defeat. Get your GGs out in chat for Zelda, taking on game 1 victory in this 135 C finish. Holy cow, that was zooming. The other, of course, very notable, fun part of AD keys is if you want to pick one whatever Plando location for things to be in. The second Castle Tower key, of course, was the second chest of Castle Tower. Wasn't that fun? Alright, so it looks like Fox at least is still currently keeping going, where he is almost basically top GT. And yes, he has a B, he's got, 3 potions, I think, at this point. I have no idea what else he has. But he, I think, should be fine in terms of basically finishing up. He also does have powder. I think he does not have powder. Where the heck was powder? Oh, never mind. Powder was in Compass Chest or Compass Room in GT. He has not gone over there. But yeah, he should have enough safeties basically to get through this. And he's got red mail, so basically he's invincible at this point. Nice mushroom. Mushroom may not have been so bad, I guess, right before the pre-Moldrum chest. I mean, Fox had, like way too much magic for you to fake powder, but it is all good. So going into Swamp, I guess, on this equipment or this level of health probably is not going to be the end of the world. There's gonna a couple hearts kind of like on the path in order to go to get to Argus, and again he's got red mail, so it should be fine. We are also joined here by today's victor, Zelda. GGs.
Yo, GGs. Thank you.
Yes. So that was exceedingly fast. How did you feel?
Yeah, like even with starting boots, this is a pretty ridiculous time for AD keys, and I have a feeling that a large portion of why I might have won this might have revolved around Castle Tower.
Surprisingly, it was not, actually. You guys actually ended up following very similar paths, I think, for the vast majority of the game, including actually doing Pyramid Fairy after what, Desert or something like that, whenever you guys had the opportunity to do so. And then you both in Castle Tower at the same time, and I believe you both got surprised by that wonderful Castle Tower small key.
Yeah, definitely very surprised. But
yes.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't think there's a lot to say beyond that. I feel like everything was very smooth. Minus, I could have had the mitts the first time I was up on the mountain, but I don't feel too bad about that.
Yeah, right. So actually, for what it's worth, Fox also did not have the miss when he went up there. Right. So because you guys were kind of like right at the cusp, right, of Zora money, right? And you had flippers and all that stuff, but no real way to farm money, right, in order to go get it. So yeah, it's very understandable that you just went up there without it. Yeah. So I guess like I would consider the probably the primary divergence point was after you had exhausted, I guess like everything, maybe after Skull. You decided to dive Ice Palace without the Cane of Samaria, and of course, you found Cane in his wonderful pseudo-random home of, Ice-T, and Fox decided to try his luck with Meyer and Rise Desert before basically going in.
Okay, yeah, that's all very reasonable. I was vaguely considering doing the same if my Pyramid Fairy Catfish route wasn't just going to lead me up to the Ice Palace Whirlpool anyway. I might have done the same. I was really thinking about it. But yeah, I didn't feel too bad about going to Ice. Like, it was basically all the equipment I could want minus Samaria. I guess a big key would have been nice, but no huge complaint, really.
If you were waiting for that big key, you would have been waiting for a very, very long time. I don't know how you were feeling basically at the end game when you were going through all of these things. Then you found the book and you found the Ice Palace big key and on Laser Bridge. Like, what was kind of going through your mind?
So at that moment, I even mentioned in my chat actually, I had basically full cleared the game and I had one GT key. And I was like, I legitimately think Swamp Small might be available in these like 5 or 6 spots that I have, and then there's GT keys in Swamp. But I couldn't risk it. And then as soon as there was a GT key on either tablet, I was like, okay, well, never mind. It's in GT.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Okay. So you weren't basically worried at that point. Okay. That's at least good. Yeah, because I guess like in terms of like, I mean like you and Fox were both very efficient, I guess, or you were able to be very efficient, right? Do most of the light world stuff, and then I think you got to single dip like every single dungeon, basically, right? And just like never have to go back, which was super nice. Did you like the Eastern Palace Big Key location?
That was good. That was very good. I appreciated and never having to go until I had it, so much appreciated.
I was really pretty disappointed that you guys had to find the ice rod at Stumpy before going into Desert. I was looking at your inventory, I was like, man, this would have been really nice if he didn't have half magic and ice rod. But, it is randomizer, so.
Yeah, it's a shame, but the playable version of the Land Mola's fight is, even with the ice rod, that is playable compared to other versions.
Yeah, but I mean, like I think as you said, like this seed was incredibly fast. I mean, like it didn't even feel that bad, or I mean, I think you guys did a lot. Because you still do vast majority of GT basement, right? In terms of like I think your collection rate still be pretty good, still pretty high. But you were just able to be so efficient about things, right? And you didn't have to basically go back to do anything.
Yeah, pretty much exactly that. Like really early mitts and mirror and hammer. Like there was never anything in the overworld I was really leaving behind at any point to make like awkward return trips. The keys were kind of nice where you could basically single dip every dungeon. Just everything kind of played very smooth.
Yeah. There was really kind of like not much I think else to. Yeah. But I think though if you had not done. I guess like Pyramid Fairy maybe kind of like at in combination I guess with Castle Tower and like the front of Escape. I'm not sure how long either of you would have been looking for that second Castle Tower key. Like that would have been.
Yeah, for sure. That's a gross spot. Like even after, say I full cleared GT, then I've got a whole swamp to do. Am I really gonna duck in after the GT climb? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, speaking of pseudo-vanilla locations, so I was actually gonna ask, like, I think one of the only locations you had left, that was not on the mountain was the first chest of Swamp Palace. Did that cross your mind at all? To go there before, at any point, basically?
It briefly crossed my mind, but honestly, once I got that Castle Tower small, I was like, I'm just gonna play extremely safe from here on out. Because at that point, I was like, that feels like a possible just instant win condition, and I was just gonna play really safe. That was literally the only thing I had before I went up the mountain to Turtle Rock.
Okay, yeah, I think that's actually very fair. Like, nobody basically expects that, so... Fox is also done, by the way. Get your GGs in chat for Fox. I mean, still, like, 144, I think, is also a pretty good time for 80 keys.
Oh yeah, that's a really good time still.
Yeah, and again, I think like the vast majority, I think, of the time difference, outside of some minor things here and there, just like minor sequencing, is the fact that he had a double dip mire.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean, there were probably some other minor stuff. So right, so after Mitts, from both of you, he went up to do like Dark Death Mountain immediately. And I think you went to do Hype Cave, right? And then you were rewarded in this case with the mirror. And I think then like what your route was basically just like complete south to north type of thing, right? You were able to check out like everything in one pass. I think he just, again, like some minor sequencing stuff, right? I think he checks a kid, kind of as a one-off. And like I think he did Skullwoods like as like a into Graveyard Ledge and Bumper Ledge type of thing, right? And like again, very minor things, but I guess like over the course of the entirety of the seed can add up a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I thought about going straight back up, but especially because there was something on Floating Island, I did feel like I wanted to try and delay a little bit, see if I could get the mirror first. And getting that basically instantaneously felt pretty good, for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, otherwise, obviously, very very well played, super efficient route. Yeah, I don't really think there's anything kind of like left. I mean, yeah, like I don't know if I could really point out something that maybe could have gone like better for you. Maybe an earlier sword, but we just find one in Eastern. I mean, you weren't gonna get that. But I mean, like, no one's gonna probably go get that. So. But yeah, so I think game two and potentially 3 is tomorrow, or did you not schedule game 3 yet?
No schedule for game 3 yet, but tomorrow for game 2, just 1 hour later, 6 p.m. Eastern, midnight for Europe.
All right. Well, certainly best of luck. Hopefully, if you get a seed like this, just to zoom on through, right? Don't have to stay up all night to play.
Yeah, hopefully, because especially for Fox, I really don't want to have to make them stay up forever. So hopefully we can get a nice quick one like this too.
Yeah. You are starting with boots, I assume, same mode, or?
Yep, exact same mode.
Nice. Okay. All right. Well, that certainly can help things. Yeah. Well, that's right. That was another thing that was kind of nice about the C2. Like you had sword, the 2 minute 30 second mark, like right in Blind's HUD. You had the flute in like at the 3 minute mark or something, right? Like because it was in the well. Like it was super nice.
Yeah, the mobility was just off the charts instantly. Because even if you don't, like if you have boots, if you don't have a sword, it can honestly really suck. Definitely, the seed was wanting us to go fast, and I was happy to oblige.
Yeah, very very fast. Yeah. It just looks like we have Fox in chat. Yeah, Fox, I think you did very well. I don't know how much you kind of heard, but I think like the vast majority of the time difference was you decided to go to Mire and Desert to look for the cane, maybe potentially, versus Azalga just went to Ice Palace and found it there. So yeah, I don't want to basically keep you guys up too much longer. We still have freedom day still left, some amount of sunlight, maybe before fireworks for Azalga. Yeah, but thank you so much, guys, for racing. I think it was a really fun race to watch. And best of luck to both of you tomorrow.
Yeah. Thanks for giving us a stage. Thank you, Nissan. Thank you, Clearmouse. And happy to oblige. GG's again to Fox, and hopefully we can do a good show tomorrow.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah, so, and hopefully it won't be too late for you, Fox. Yeah, but have a good night, and hopefully, for the rest of people, if you're still in the U.S., happy Freedom Day. All right, and big thanks, Alex, for putting on the restream. Very, very, very thankful. I know there's like a ton of tech stuff basically going on in the background, and things did not explode, so thank you so much. All right. Until then, I think have a good night. If you have any final words, Selga, I'm happy to let you say something. Otherwise, we can wrap things up.
What's the guile phrase? Go home and be a family man. Yeah, it's about the only way I can end it.
All right, sounds good. Have a good night, everyone.